Okay, so just the intro with this case. This is patient S, Miss S, and this is how she presented to me. So she was referred to me from another city, and she came, and what had happened was tooth number 1, 2 had become inflamed. So she had she's had these root canals for 30 years, 40 years. And one day what happened was she was out for business, out for work, and then this tooth became inflamed. We used to call them a phoenix abscess, so essentially symptomatic apical periodontitis, almost acute apical abscess without the swelling. So she had a lot of pain due to this lesion of endodontic origin. So what they tried to do at that appointment, they removed the cast post, which was here, crown cast post, but they could not get into the canal because unfortunately they weren't using a microscope. And it's not a critique, it's just without high magnification, high brightness, it's really hard to find where you're going. So she was referred to me with a temp crown exactly here, like this, with a temp crown on this. So what we aimed to do was, okay, well, we can do the retreat, no problem. But I also factor in the restorability really quickly, but what I did not factor in was how thin this tooth was going to be once we proceeded with the root canal. So that's really what this whole discussion is about, is kind of the thought process that went through this, but then really at the end of the day, we're going to be placing an immediate implant, and we did the apical on this tooth, waiting to see if how this is going to heal, because there's a lesion as well on this tooth. And I tried to remove this cast post, and that was almost impossible without fracturing the root. So we elected to do it an apicoectomy in that case. So some of the treatment planning ideas that I've gone through talking with my colleagues, myself, periodontist, oral surgeon, and the prosthodontist as well. So this is the way that she presented to us, and just with the temporary tooth and the provisional crown. And you can see right away where the smile architecture is. This gingiva is supposed to be probably about here. That crown margin should not be that high. It should be about 1 millimeter short, roughly, what I've been trained, and it's already high. So we're thinking either we're going to extract this tooth or extrude it. There's no way we're going to crown lengthen, because crown lengthening would take that way up there. So extruding it would be a very simple process. We'd complete the root canal. And that really was the original plan, was to extrude that tooth. But then talking with colleagues are kind of like, by the time you extrude that tooth, the amount of ferrule that you have now is 0, and by the time you extrude it, this root becomes so thin because it's very conical. So the tooth's already weakened by having this go off on the buccal. You'll see that in the next video where the position is. It's not perforated, but it's pretty darn close. And there's not much tooth structure once you start whittling away going down this route. So really, again, this video is really kind of the thought process, and then just kind of you start with a plan, and then you have to kind of go back on a plan. So that's really what this is. And again, this is just another shot of, you can see that part of the consideration was all the amount of dentistry she's had already. So if this tooth wasn't going to work out, we could also put a bridge here. But then this tooth is also the tooth number 1 is also compromised, because now we're putting an apical on that. And yes, it's 80 to 85% success with an apicoectomy using microscopes, but still it's becoming a little more compromised. So potentially the best option right off the bat would be extraction. But there's a lot of things that I learned along the process. There's a lot of things I want to share actually in doing the retreat and doing the apical and doing the extraction. So, and again, like I said, this is my first immediate implant, so I have the benefit of having an oral surgeon and a periodontist, especially a periodontist, to walk me through this case. So I wanted to share that with you. So let's hop on to the next video.